Welcome back to our channel, Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating coins from the United States of America, the 1-cent Lincoln penny from the year 1975. At first glance, it might look like just another ordinary copper coin that you could find in your change, but if you pay close attention, you'll discover that this penny holds stories, secrets, and in some cases, a shocking amount of value. Let's begin with the basics. The Lincoln cent has been around for more than a century. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became an instant favorite, and since then, the Lincoln penny has remained one of the most collected coins in American history. By 1975, the design had already seen millions upon millions of strikes, but the details remained the same: Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Now here's something important to understand. In 1975, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at multiple locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint mark tells a different story, and collectors often pay close attention to where the coin was struck. Most of these pennies were made out of copper, weighing about 3.11 grams, which makes them feel more solid than the modern zinc pennies we use today. But what makes a 1975 penny worth collecting? First, condition is everything. A penny that has been in circulation for decades will usually show scratches, discoloration, and a loss of detail. Those coins are interesting historically, but they don't attract big money. On the other hand, if you find a coin in mint state condition, with sharp details, full red luster, and no signs of wear, then you're looking at something special. Collectors are willing to pay high premiums for pennies that look brand new, even though they were minted nearly 50 years ago. Now let's talk about something even more exciting: minting errors. Sometimes during the production process, mistakes happen. The dies can shift, causing a double strike. A coin can be struck off-center, leaving part of the design missing. Letters and numbers can appear doubled, creating what's known as a double die error. Even small variations, like weak strikes or unusual metal compositions, can make a coin extremely valuable. These rare errors are what collectors hunt for, and they're the reason why ordinary-looking pennies can suddenly become treasures. Imagine this for a moment. You're sorting through a jar of pennies, not expecting much, and suddenly you notice something strange about a 1975 coin. Maybe the lettering looks doubled, or the coin is thicker or thinner than usual, or perhaps it shines differently than the others. That could be your jackpot find. Stories like these are real, and people have turned pocket change into thousands of dollars simply because they paid attention to the details. But rarity and condition are not the only factors. Grading also plays a big role in determining value. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification and assign them a grade, usually ranging from good for heavily worn coins, all the way up to mint state and even proof for coins in perfect condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. And when you combine a high grade with a rare error, you're talking about coins that can fetch unbelievable amounts at auctions. Now you might be wondering, how high can the value of a 1975 penny actually go? The truth is that most of these coins are still only worth face value, 1 cent. A typical circulated 1975 penny may only sell for a few cents to collectors, maybe $1 or $2 if it's in good shape. Even an uncirculated one might bring in $5 to $10, depending on its luster and strike quality. But the real treasures are the rare examples. Some 1975 pennies with unique errors, especially those graded by professional services as being in top mint condition, have reached values that most people would never believe. These are the coins that attract serious collectors and bidders from around the world, driving prices higher and higher at auctions. And now we come to the most exciting part of this video. After hearing all of this, you're probably wondering just how much a rare 1975 penny could possibly be worth. Well, the highest reported value for one of these rare Lincoln cents from 1975 has reached an unbelievable $45,000. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in United States coinage history, the 1981 cent coin with no mint mark, and why this particular coin can be worth far more than just a penny. Now, to begin, we need to understand how mint marks work and why their absence on certain coins can make them so interesting in the world of numismatics. A mint mark is simply a small letter placed on a coin that tells us where it was struck. For example, coins made in Denver carry a small D. Mint mark coins struck in San Francisco may carry an S, and coins made in Philadelphia often carry no mint mark at all. Until the year 1980, many coins from Philadelphia carried no identifying letter whatsoever, but starting in that year the Philadelphia Mint began placing a tiny P mint mark on most denominations except for the cent, which continued to be struck without a mint mark. This creates some confusion among new collectors because technically every 1980 penny struck in Philadelphia was made without a mint mark, and this is completely normal. However, there is more to the story. Certain coins from this era can be worth significant money not just because of the lack of a mint mark, but because of other factors such as condition, rarity, and errors. The 1981 cent coin was made from a copper alloy of 95% copper and 5% zinc. It weighs 3.11 grams and features the classic Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. This was the last full decade before the switch to the modern copper-plated zinc planchets in 1982, which makes these older heavy copper cents more desirable, especially to those who love the history of American coinage. Now you might be asking yourself, if all 1980 Philadelphia cents are supposed to have no mint mark, then what makes some of them worth so much money? The answer lies in two main things: condition and striking errors. Let's first talk about condition. In the world of coin grading, condition is everything: a coin fresh from the mint with no or no scratches and a brilliant red copper surface is given the highest grades by professional grading services. Coins graded MS-67 and above are rare for this year because most pennies entered circulation quickly and developed spots, toning, or scratches. A regular 1980 Philadelphia 1 cent coin in circulated condition is usually worth only its face value, but when you find one in pristine mint state condition, it can be worth several dollars, sometimes $10, $20, or even more in higher grades. The top population coins, those few examples that have been graded MS-67 red or higher, can sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. But here is where it gets even more exciting: error coins. Error coins are minting mistakes that slipped past quality control and made it into circulation. Examples include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and even wrong planchet strikes. Imagine a 1980 penny struck on a dime planchet, or one struck way off-center with half the design missing. Such coins are highly collectible and can bring anywhere from $50 to several $1,000s depending on how dramatic the error is. One famous variety collectors search for is the double die obverse, where parts of the lettering "In Liberty" or "In God We Trust" show signs of doubling. Although not as famous as the 1955 or 1969 double dies, there are still valuable examples of 1980 cents with doubling that can reach into the hundreds of dollars if authenticated. Let's talk about the market value right now. As of the current year, collectors are paying strong prices for high-grade copper Lincoln cents. A regular 1980 no mint mark penny in average circulated condition is only worth 1 cent to maybe 5 cents if it has good eye appeal, but in uncirculated grades you are looking at $1 to $5 in MS-65 condition, $10 to $20 in MS-66 condition, and upwards of $100 to $200 in MS-67 condition, with some examples even topping that. At major coin auctions for error coins, the values vary dramatically. An off-center 1980 penny with about 50% of the design missing but with the date fully visible can bring $50 to $150 more. Dramatic errors such as broad strikes or double strikes can sell for several $100s, and the rare wrong planchet strikes where the coin was accidentally struck on a nickel or dime blank can fetch over $1,000. The key takeaway here is that not every 1980 penny without a mint mark is valuable, because by design all Philadelphia cents from that year have no mint mark. However, the condition of the coin, its grade, its color, whether red, brown, or brown, and any unique mint errors all play a huge role in determining its true market value. Collectors love high-end copper coins, and the 1980 no mint mark penny is no exception. So next time you're going through your change, pay close attention to those older copper cents from the late 70s and early 80s. You never know when you might come across a stunning uncirculated example or even a rare mint error that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Today we are going to uncover one of the most exciting mysteries in American coinage. Imagine a simple penny, something so small that we often drop it on the ground and don't even bother to pick it up. But what if I told you that one of those pennies, a coin from the year 1996, could be worth more than most brand new cars, more than many people's yearly salary, and could change your financial life in an instant? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which penny to look for, and why it could be worth a fortune. Let's start with a little background. The United States 1-cent coin, often called the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it has become one of the most recognizable coins in American history. On the front side, or obverse, we have the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, in 1996, the design still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a structure that honors one of the greatest presidents in U.S. history. Now, millions upon millions of these pennies were struck in 1996. They were produced in the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and also in San Francisco for proof coins. Usually, when you look under the year on a penny, you'll find a tiny letter that tells you which mint produced it. For example, a small D stands for Denver, an S stands for San Francisco, and if the coin comes from Philadelphia, most of the time there is no mint mark at all. But here's where things get interesting. While it's normal for Philadelphia coins to have no mint mark, there are certain varieties and rare errors that collectors go absolutely crazy for. A missing mint mark where one should exist, for example, on a proof coin, or even certain variations in striking can make a coin unbelievably rare. And when rarity meets demand, the price skyrockets. Collectors are always on the lookout for these special pieces. Think about it. There are billions of pennies in circulation. The odds of stumbling across one that has a unique flaw, a missing detail, or an unusual strike are incredibly low. But that's exactly why these coins can be so valuable. They are like hidden treasures, lost in plain sight, waiting for a sharp-eyed collector to discover them. So how can you tell if you have something special? First, take out your 1996 pennies and look closely at the date. Right below those 4 digits is the spot where the mint mark should be. In some cases, you will see nothing at all, which is expected for Philadelphia strikes. But, depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand, certain examples have been sold for astonishing amounts. Imagine holding a coin that looks just like every other penny, something you might have gotten in change at a grocery store, but in reality, it has the power to be life-changing. That's the magic of coin collecting. The thrill is in the hunt, the excitement is in the discovery, and the reward can be unbelievable. Coin dealers, collectors, and auction houses all know about these special cents. When one appears on the market, bidding wars can break out because everyone wants a piece of history. And when you combine rarity, condition, and collector demand, the value can reach a jaw-dropping level. Now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for. The question is, what is a 1996 no mint mark cent truly worth? Are we talking a few $100s? Maybe a couple thousand? No, the truth is much more exciting than that. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. Because this tiny 1-cent coin, the 1996 penny with no mint mark, has been valued as high as $45,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A penny, the smallest coin in American circulation, can carry a value in the tens of thousands of dollars. So the next time you get pennies back in change, don't ignore them. Don't let them sit forgotten in a jar. Take a closer look. That 1 cent could be the key to a hidden treasure, and it could change your life forever. And if you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare coins, don't forget to check your pockets, your piggy banks, and your old coin collections. Who knows? You might be holding the next big discovery.